Hi everyone, and welcome to another edition of this week's newsletter with myself, Laurence. Here working with a new client who's come on board in January 2025, ready to just almost for him to refresh his thoughts. Quite a few people I see have had previous coaches, which during our golfing lifetime, I'd be very surprised if we saw or explored just the opportunity of seeing one coach, certainly for a long period of time. You're going to pick up loads of snippets of information, whether that be online. Is it relevant to you? Golf coaches at your current golf clubs, golf coaches if you move away or go on a holiday, you might be having a pro on site at your resorts. You're going to collect different bits of information, and those different bits of information, as long as they're correlating to what I would consider your blueprint, and with a lot of golfers, and as I'm sort of talking to you as a coach to pupil, is that we've got to understand what we're doing. I see far too much, even from my perspective, seeing sort of fellow coaches and the way they teach. And again, not saying it's wrong, but you've got to know, you've got to be told, you've got to understand what is going on, why am I making these changes, rather than just being told, make this change, without the implications of potentially what could happen over those coming rounds or coming weeks. Or eventually what we want to know is, well, why are we changing it for the better? I think we just relay information, just do it, and just hope for the best. So it's very important to understand what you're being told, and obviously who you're being told by and stuff. As I said, over the years you will correlate a lot of information, but it's just making sure that you understand it personally yourself. Now, here we have a chap who's, just like I said, he's almost caught in too many thoughts. Previous coaches has obviously tried to do a good job with him and stuff, but it's almost got him to a point where he's just forgotten what he's trying to do. And what are we trying to do around the golf course? We're trying to play golf. We get so caught up in technique and what it looks like. You can see I'm sort of 2 minutes into a video here, and I haven't even started talking about his golf swing. I'm sort of talking about more how he's thinking and what he's trying to do. Okay, so the image here on the left-hand side was the original. Again, not going to tell you what we changed just yet, but again, as you look at the video or even the stills, you might see certain things that we've changed. Inconsistency in ball striking. Saw a left, saw a right shot, but he talked a lot about this vulnerability of the club face. Don't feel the squareness of the club face through impact. So as I show you the image here on the left-hand side, I feel the overall plane of the swing, what some might consider, goes quite up, with not a lot of turn from torso. The club follows the same line. Yeah, I quite like the ideas of what's going on here. As the club gets preset into this type of position here, it pretty much falls identically back on that same path on the way down. So I gave my student here ideas that the club's actually on a fairly, what I'd consider, quite neutral path. Again, he's talking about the ideas of the control of his club head and why the ball might be starting a little bit left. And I can see things where I do like the hips to clear and rotate, but they're conducting far too much of a movement, where you can see with the hands and arms on the follow through, there feels like there's quite a lot of manipulation going on, trying to steer it, no form of release. So we've got to get into a slightly better, more rotated format. Now, to rotate better in a general sense, if I just take that circle away, what you'll see is here on the right hand side, again, some of you might have picked it up already, but I just said to him, look, can you just sit a little bit? And when I said sit, it wasn't a case of I want you sitting on a chair. I just want you to feel the floor a bit more, and feeling the floor where you're simply just trying to find a bit more knee flex, and you'll see with the knee flex it gets the shaft to be a little more horizontal, we'll call it, compared to the vertical one over here. And by seeing a slightly more horizontal levelling of the club, we generally will see a little bit more turn. So the swing is just about to start here. You'll see in that first part, now the club shaft is pitching a little bit more behind compared to where we are here. The turn, again, looks more dynamic. Again, just get us to the top here. You can see the hand slightly lower, there's a little bit more connection between his elbow and the trail size, but he's still got a little bit of work to do with his legs, but I felt like they're operating better here just because they're softer impacts. But more importantly, on the way down, it's following that same line. Yeah, so it's pretty much on top of the golf ball here. Equally, like this one over here on the left-hand side, but this was just producing, the one on the left was producing far too much of a left pulley top shot. Now the club feels like it's coming from around him. You can see the impact of the ball on the screen roughly in this sort of region here. And with the image on the left-hand side, you can't quite see it, but it's more through his left shoulder. So we've got a better start line, and more importantly for me, even though it doesn't look like his hips are turning as much, they clearly are, because I can see the way the right foot's rolling here. Here it's kicking, so when you generally see it kicking, the right side pushes out a little bit more for the right-hander, so a bit of early extension. We're seeing this guy a bit more rounded to his swing, and more importantly, the strike was far more consistent. We're seeing a little bit better arm structure here as well, just not as high and around. He's just controlling the strike on the ground. So really good work here in, like I say, a space of an hour. I say an hour, 2 hours, because this was on the back end of the second lesson, the one on the right hand side. So lots more to go, but definitely working in the right direction. As I do this video now, the sun is shining. It would be good to see more of you get yourself booked in, ready for these competitions that will be fast approaching in your golfing seasons as well. So please get in contact with myself, Laurence, and look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks.